Good evening and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin tonight with breaking news, two stark numbers that show how dramatically coronavirus has changed life in America. Tonight, the death toll nationwide has now reached more than 16,000, and more than 6 million Americans have filed for unemployment in just the last week. In New York today, the governor compared the pandemic to September 11th, calling it evil and stressing that people should continue to stay at home, even though there are signs that the curve may be flattening. That's because fewer people are being admitted to the hospital now, but more people are still dying each day. Nationwide, there are now 425,000 confirmed cases, though there are still concerns that without widely available testing, those numbers may not represent the total amount of infections. And as we come on the air tonight, a plan to add another $250 billion to that fund to loan money to small businesses has stalled in Congress, even as the number of Americans who have lost their jobs since the crisis began has now reached nearly 17 million. That's twice the population of New York City. Our team is covering every angle of this, and we'll get to the financial fallout in just a moment. But Mola Lenghi leads us off tonight in the epicenter of the crisis, New York City. Mola?
Well, Nora, health officials canceled plans today to open up another field hospital in New York City, similar to this one here in Central Park. Why? Hospitalizations have flattened for 5 days in a row. So, while there are encouraging signs, today was still a sobering day here in New York City.
Today, another deadly record high, reminding some of the last time so many New Yorkers were lost.
It was a silent explosion that just ripples through society with the same randomness, the same evil that we saw on 9/11.
The number of patients hospitalized in New York grew by its smallest number in weeks.
Everybody is assuming, well, once we get through this, we're done. I wouldn't be so quick to assume that.
Over the last few days at sunny Downstate in Brooklyn, admissions have declined slightly, but the fight continues.
They're going down the tubes, rapidly going down the tubes.
Julie Eason heads up a team of respiratory therapists who manage the needs of patients on ventilators minute by minute.
They're so tired from the effort of breathing that they can't do it anymore on their own.
Tired of breathing. That's the point that they've gotten to.
Their muscles are exhausted and they literally are so tired they can't breathe.
Today is the predicted peak for single-day deaths in Detroit. Jennifer Ralco, a stressed and overworked nurse in a hospital there, saw 3 bodies taken to the morgue during a recent 20-hour shift.
It definitely struck me that I'm taking this many patients to the morgue. You know, that's a bad day. But unfortunately, there are days that has become a normal during this coronavirus time.
Hospitals in New Orleans have geared up for a surge of COVID-19 patients.
A lot of those patients that we admit to our hospitals ultimately become even sicker and require intubation and ventilatory support. That's new to us.
And some news on the source of the first COVID-19 cases in New York City. Researchers at Mount Sinai Hospital have traced them to European and U.S. sources rather than introductions from China, where the virus originated. Dr. Anthony Fauci is looking for light on the horizon.
It is very likely that we will progress towards the steps towards normalization as we get to the end of this 30 days. But hopefully, by the time we get to the summer, we will have taken many steps in that direction.
A season of change without so many loved ones, including 27-year-old Leilani Jordan. She was a grocery store clerk in Maryland who kept working despite the risks to help her elderly customers. Her mother was allowed into the hospital in her last moments.
When they got her, she had 104 fever. And they put her in isolation, and she called me. She says, "Mommy, I can barely breathe."
Well, the peak in U.S. deaths is expected to hit this Sunday, Easter Sunday. And Governor Cuomo here warns that even as we see a flattening and an eventual fall in cases as well as deaths, that we need to anticipate a potential second and third wave in this virus. Nora?
Mola, thank you so much.